Good evening. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight for our second attempt at a virtual open house. I hope you all had a good visit between last week and this week with your classroom teachers and got your questions answered. I just wanted to start tonight by just thanking everyone for your patience and for your persistence. This going all the way back to the spring has been an incredibly challenging time period for us here as teachers. And I know for you as parents and guardians as well, it's none of us signed up for this. And I know it's been a challenge. So I did just want to thank everybody from everything for communicating with us if you had an issue or helping your kids troubleshoot tech issues. I know it's been a real challenge, and just wanted to make sure tonight that I started off by saying thank you, and also just making sure that I open up the doors of communication to let you know that if you do have questions or you need anything, to reach out to us. If we don't know there's an issue, we can't help you with it. So please don't ever hesitate to reach out to us. I am going to introduce a few people to you tonight. We're going to go through. This presentation won't be too terribly long. But I'm going to introduce you to a few people, some of which are just going to say hi, and others will have a few things to say, just so that you know who to reach out to here in the school. And I also did just want to say a couple things about tonight as we move forward in just setting, I guess, what I think should be the expectation as we move forward into the school year. Having a partnership between home and school has never been more important. I wrote about this a lot in my communications in the spring, that we really can't do our job without you as parents at home. That's always the case, but it's even more so the case now, where kids are home multiple days a week, in some instances every day of the week, and it's really challenging. I know it's challenging for you. It's challenging for us as well as teachers, and that partnership is so essential to what we're doing. And what I was hoping to do tonight was to just go through briefly what we all see as the essential role as a parent and a guardian, because I think at times that gets a little bit confused. I think we are hoping that as parents at home, you don't feel the pressure and the need to teach your child at home. That's what we're here for. What we would like your help with is to support what we call learner behaviors in kids. And there's a few of those that I was going to go through. And I guess it's like the do's and don'ts as a parent, right? The first is technical skills. It's not really actually a learner behavior, but obviously our kids need support with technical skills. If our kids are having a hard time logging in, if their computer's not working, that's a perfectly appropriate thing as a parent to be helping your kid with. The next is setting your kids up for success. We hope as a parent and a guardian, you'd be actively involved in making sure that they have a nice, clean workspace, somewhere that's distraction-free, that their materials are organized. Kids need help with agendas and keeping track of schedules, keeping track of time, things like that. Those are really important skills that we need to teach our students. We are trying to formally teach them, but also that support being provided by parents is really essential. Task initiation is another big one. We have a lot of kids that have a really hard time getting started. What we would hope as a parent is that you're not sitting there with your child for the whole lesson. We want our kids to be independent. We need them to be. But some kids do have a hard time with task initiation. And when they're in a class and we've given an assignment, teachers know who those kids are. They'll walk around and they'll just help them get started. We need to be careful, though, that we don't let them rope us into, or we don't have them rope us into. My daughter is famous for this at home. She wants me to sit with her and help her with the whole worksheet or help her with everything. She pretends like she can't do it unless I'm helping her. She's perfectly capable of doing it. She does it when she's at school. And as a parent, it's just something to be aware of. And we hope that you will, take a second to help them get started, make sure their workspace is organized, but you don't need to sit and work with them the whole time. The next one is persistence and perseverance. Hoping as parents that you'll encourage your kids to give it their best effort, but it doesn't mean that they're going to get everything done, and really leads to one of my next ones which is advocating for yourself. If you see your child at home and they're having a really hard time completing the work, as a parent, we want you to encourage them. Try harder. Give it your best. But if they're really struggling, encourage your child to talk to the teacher. If your child's having a hard time doing that or advocating for themselves, then let the teacher know. But we want to make sure that you redirect your kids in the right place, and they should be letting their teachers know that they're having a hard time. And I don't want you as a parent to worry if the kids are getting all the work done or not, and sitting down and making sure they get everything done. We want to see what our kids are doing independently. If teachers are concerned with task completion or things like that, they'll reach out to you individually and have that conversation, and hopefully help find a way where you can partner and work together to get some things done with the kids. But by and large, kids are pretty skilled at avoiding doing things that they don't necessarily want to do. So we need your help to redirect them, send them to the teacher. If they're saying it's too hard, make sure that they're letting the teacher know. And then on the flip side, like I said, with persistence and perseverance, encouraging them, rewarding them to just give their best effort. And sometimes it might not be that they can complete the entire assignment the teacher gave. That's okay. We're more concerned with how hard they worked throughout that whole process. Time management is obviously another important one that a lot of kids need support with, and I think is appropriate. Parent to provide those reminders if you know they're supposed to log back on at 10:30. Helping them remember that is great if your child has a hard time with that. And then ultimately, independence is really the last one. Our goal, and it varies and it's somewhat different at every grade, but we want our kids to be independent. We want our kids to be able to complete work on their own. We're trying to give them work that is challenging for them, but doable. And it's not always an exact science. So that's why communicating and advocating is so important. But it's okay if the work is hard. I think another thing I've heard from a lot of parents is I think they're seeing their kids struggle with different things. It's rare that we have a student that doesn't struggle with something. And our job as a teacher is to push them right to the limit of their ability. It's supposed to be hard. That's when their brain is growing. That's when they're figuring things out. We don't need to overreact if we're seeing our kids struggle with things. But that being said, there is a limit. And, sometimes kids are encountering things that are beyond their ability. So if you have questions about it, just communicate. But what we don't want to see happen is you to feel the pressure to sit down and make sure that the kid really gets division, or they really get multiplication, or that they got the entire worksheet done. Or if they did their worksheet and you see that the answers are wrong, we want to see that we want to see what the kids did when they were working independently. If you sit with your child and you help correct everything and make sure that what they ultimately turn in is all done correctly, we're not going to know that they're actually struggling with it, which is why in some of my communications I put out last week about STAR 360, the assessment that we have been giving kids. We still are working on that. We don't want parents to help with that assessment at all. The work that kids are assigned through Freckle is differentiated based off how they do on that assessment. So if kids did really well in the assessment because parents sat and helped them, then the work that they're going to get assigned to them is going to be way over their head. So again, just want to see what our kids can do independently. So we call them learner behaviors. School has shifted over the years. We are less worried about kids memorizing things and completing tasks, and we're focused more on developing actions and learner behaviors in kids so that they can be independent learners. And so these are some of the things that we're hoping that you'll focus on with your kids at home to the best of your ability. Again, just going through those real quickly. Obviously, if a kid's having a technical issue, please help them out. Task initiation, if they're having a hard time getting started, making sure their workspace is clean and organized and ready to go. Encourage them to try their hardest, that persistence and perseverance, time management, communication and advocating for themselves, and ultimately independence. And don't worry if they're struggling. So it's supposed to be hard. It's done that way by nature. So That was a really quick overview. I hope that helped in some ways. I know this is a struggle, so tough to go through all this in 10 minutes, but I'm going to kind of keep us moving here. I'm going to introduce our first guest here, Mr. Thomas, who is our assistant principal. So I know he's got a couple of things to say. So
thank you, Mr. Thompson. I just want to introduce myself. I'm excited to be a part of the HBB family. It's been amazing to come back in August and to watch Mr. Thompson and the teachers really come together and get ready for the school year to start. It's been about a month since we've had the kids back, and it's amazing how resilient our students are. I think we're going to do some amazing things this year, and like I said, I'm glad to be a part of it. I'm here for your kids. I'm also here for you. So if you have any questions, I may not know all the answers. I may not know any of the answers, but I can certainly do my best to try to find out what you need and how to get the answer for you. But again, I just wanted you to be able to put a face to my name and ask you to reach out to me at any time. I'm available via email or telephone. But it's going to be a great year, and I'm looking forward to meeting more of your kids and meeting each of you. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. I apologize if some of this is choppy. This is my first time running this program here, StreamYard, so I'm going to try to keep things moving. We did just have a quick question come up about how much homework should a child typically have. Typically, in a normal school year, we do here at HBB about 10 minutes multiplied by the grade level, no more than that. And the purpose of homework here is to teach personal responsibility. It's, there's not a lot of research that says kids strengthen their skills at the elementary level based off homework or that they deepen their understanding. But there is research that says teaching kids personal responsibility is really important. Again, this goes back to those learner behaviors. So mainly what we want to see is kids bringing it home, giving it a shot, and bringing it back. There is a little bit of flexibility in that, though. You might see a little bit less homework potentially on remote days, things like that. But by and large, it's typically 10 minutes multiplied by the grade. So you shouldn't see any more than that. All right, so I'm going to bring on our next guest, Mrs. Perkins, our school nurse. So welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson. So I know this is a very different year for all of us. And like Mr. Thompson said, I want to thank everyone for doing their part, checking their kids daily with the healthy checklist, keeping them home if they're not feeling well, and keeping us informed as we work through this new normal together. This year has been a really different year for me. I've had the opportunity to get out of my office and travel around the school to see the students outside their classrooms, which I have really enjoyed. Being out and about and seeing all the great things the staff at HBB are doing to keep your kids safe. It's really important to let me know if your kids are homesick. And I believe Mr. Thompson may be sharing my email for anyone who may need to contact me, or you can find my contact information on the school website under Health Services. So please feel free to reach out if I can answer any questions or if you have any concerns. And I just want to thank everyone for everything that you're doing, and I hope you and your family stay safe and healthy.
Thank you for the reminder to share your email here. It's another one of those examples of this being a little choppy, so I apologize. And I forgot to share Mr. Thomas's as well. So, all right, so our next guest is Mrs. McDonald and Mrs. Doak, if I can find you in here, our school psychologist and adjustment counselor. So welcome. I'm going to step aside so they can talk to you for a minute.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Mrs. Doak. I am the school adjustment counselor at HBB. One of the things I'm going to mention today is one of the programs that we use to enhance the social emotional learning that we have going on at Brooklyn. We use a program called Character Strong. It's actually used district-wide. At the elementary level, we use an element called Purposeful People. It's a great program that kind of embeds and weaves social emotional learning and character education. And we have it used throughout the day in classrooms through routines. There's 10 character traits that the program focuses on, so we do one each month. Some of them are respect, perseverance, honesty, kindness, cooperation. Teachers have videos and worksheets and activities to help enhance these character traits. And then each month we are recognizing students for showing and demonstrating the character word of the month, and they'll each get brag tags, or and for those that are fully remote, we'll figure out ways to get it to them also. So that's one of the ways that we're doing social emotional building. Another, we're also using positive office referrals. So when kids are doing phenomenal thing in the building, we want to know about it and we want to recognize them for it. Kids will also be given still Berkland's best tickets, and I saw our PTA is fabulous and is getting our school store up and running, because we still want that stuff to happen. Even though this is a very different year, that stuff is still going to continue. So those are some of the things that we're doing, and now I'm going to pass it over to Mrs. McDonald.
Hi. Oops, sorry about that. Whoops. So I wanted to talk a little bit about social thinking, which is a program that we use here at Berkland. Social thinking is a program that helps students to understand how the social world works, as well as why different social skills are important. And we use social thinking with every time we share space with someone, which is pretty much, especially for our students, all the time. We're always sharing space with someone. And especially now in the virtual world, we are sharing the virtual space. So how we text someone, or how we respond to an email or online in a virtual meeting, all of these things, we're thinking about others and others are thinking about us. And then we adjust our behaviors for based on the thoughts and feelings that others will have about us. So one of the big concepts is expected behaviors. So when we behave in a way that's expected, then other people will have good thoughts about us. And they'll also have feelings like they'll be happy or they'll feel calm if we're behaving in an expected way, or even just okay. Just a neutral feeling is what we have when someone behaves in an expected way. If someone behaves in an unexpected way, then we have uncomfortable thoughts. We may be frustrated or confused by that behavior. And then we will adjust our behavior based on the thoughts and feelings of other people. Social thinking also gets into some other concepts, like whole body listening, keeping our bodies and brains in a group, following the group plan and not just being a just me thinker, thinking about others. And we teach students how to be a social detective, figure out what's expected. It's not just shown to us. We don't just typically know what's expected. We have to kind of figure it out. So we think with our eyes, and we make smart guesses about what's happening around us. And some of the other concepts that we learn are, we teach a lot about being flexible. So like a perfect example is last week when we were supposed to have this meeting and, everything happened and we had to be really flexible in that, moments right before it was supposed to happen. Okay, what are we going to do now? And teaching kids that, being flexible is considering how big a problem is, how big of a problem is this? And if it's a small problem, then I need to only have a small reaction. I don't need to have a big reaction to a small problem. We also teach about the zones of regulation, which you can kind of see behind me, the pictures back there, where we teach kids about self-regulation, and we have different colors for it, where the blue zone is not having a lot of energy and you're kind of moving slowly. The green zone is feeling good about yourself, about the amount of energy that you have. Yellow zone is you kind of need to slow down a little bit. And the red zone is you're kind of getting out of control and need to stop. So all of these things are things that all of us are teaching the students, either in whole class, whole school, small groups. All of our students are learning about these things. There's a lot of information right now oh, good. I'm glad he put up the resource. There's free information on that website that Mr. Thompson just put up. And there's a lot of read aloud books right now that you can go to this website. And a lot of the concepts that I just talked about are free books right now. Yeah, I guess that's it. So any questions on social thinking, you can let us know, myself or Mrs. Dope. We'd be happy to talk to you further about it. Thanks.
Thank you. All right, I got to figure out how to remove you two. Sorry, figuring this out as I go here. All right, there we go. All right, so we did have one question. I tried to post a link to one of them. So someone was asking, Gina was asking if there's an active link for people interested in joining the PTA. I tried to post the link, but it's really long. The Best of Berkland newsletter is on our HBB website. It's not the most recent edition, but the edition before that, there's a link in there to join the PTA. So take a look for that. If you can't find it, just send me an email and I will send it to you. All right, so I'd like to introduce now Dr. Mansfield and Mrs. Redlawn, both our special ed coordinators who are going to talk.
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Kim Redlawn, and I am the Special Education Coordinator for grades K through 3. Previously, for the last couple of years, I was the Special Education Coordinator at MKG solely. So now I'm really excited to be part of Berkland's family and work with the kiddos in grades 1 through 3. It's been really awesome to see the kids in school and see their faces. It kind of brings a little bit more of a normal feel to the world right now. So I'm really excited to get to know all the kids at Berkland and be able to see them grow as the year goes on. Dr. Mansfield?
I am Laura Mansfield, and I will continue to be at Berkland, but this year only working with grades 4 and 5. So I look forward to seeing all of you families at our IEP meetings this year. If you have any questions or concerns, 1st through 3rd grade with special education, you would reach out to Kim Redlawn. 4th and 5th grade would be me. And we look forward to seeing all of you this year.
All right, thank you very much. Remove. All right, there we go. So I did forget to mention one thing to start, despite me having it on my notes there. We are looking for people that might be interested in joining the school council. School council works with me every year. It's a small group, equal number of parents and teachers to establish a school improvement plan. This year, we'll be meeting virtually, at least to start the year, unless things change as the year goes on. If that is something that you are interested in, please just send me an email. We've usually had about 4 to 5 parents, 4 to 5 teachers every year. So hopefully we'll have that same number. If we, for some reason, had a large number of parents expressing an interest, we'd have to have an election, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So if that sounds like something you might be interested in, please just email me. If you wanted to talk more about it too, and you had more questions about what that might entail, you can certainly email me. I can give you a call. We can talk some more about that. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce our next guest here, Mrs. Quirk, who is our Family Resource Coordinator.
Hi, everyone. I'm Meg Quirk. I'm the Middleborough Family Resource Center Coordinator. I work in the Berkland School as well as over at MKG and the MEC. I'm here to help families connect with information and resources and anything that they could possibly need. So if you ever need to connect with me, you can call the school. My extension's 4319. You can send me an email. And you can also reach my website through the Middleborough Public Schools website under Community tab. So if you're looking for information and you want to do a little search on your own, you can definitely go in there, and my contact information's in there as well. So please feel free to reach out. I'm here to help.
All right. Thank you. Remove you, Meg. Sorry. All right, there we go. So we had another question come up. Is there after-school programming for kids who are struggling with all the online work? We don't really have that right now. We do have after-school programming through Champions. I know the Y provides after-school programs as well. We have typically run after-school programs. I'm hopeful that we're going to be able to find a way to run some of those. We typically have run 2 sessions that run about 8 weeks. We had a conversation in the last PTA meeting about that. Our PTA funds that program, and we have had one of our clubs has been homework help for kids that need it. It's not a daily thing though. It's only once a week. So that's really all we have. I think the first thing I would say is if your kids are really struggling with the amount of work is to start by reaching out to the teacher. Make sure we're communicating that. And you can certainly reach out to us here at the school. You can reach out to me. You can reach out to Mr. Thomas, and we can talk more about that and try to figure out what's going on and try to help you out. So I do have a video to share. We had too many special subject teachers to join, so they put together a little video just introducing themselves. I'm going to try to share my screen here. Hopefully this works and I can show the video real quick. Share, hopefully this works.
I'm Mrs. Donovan, the art teacher at HBB. I've been here for 9 years, and this year we're on an art cart. See you soon.
Hi, my name is Mr. Phoenix. I teach physical education here at the Berkland School. I'm looking forward to working with all of your children this year. If you have any questions for me, please feel free to reach out to me by email. It's probably the easiest way to get a hold of me. Again, I look forward to working with all your kids and, of course, hearing from you as well. If you have any questions or concerns, again, please feel free to reach out anytime. My name is Mr. Whitelaw. It's my 12th year at the Berkland School. I enjoy hearing from parents. We're really loving working with the children, remote and in person. Hope to hear from you. Call us anytime. Emails would be great. I don't mind a phone call, but it's a little tricky this year. So thanks for your time. Stay in touch.
Hi, boys and girls. I'm Mr. Dawson.
And I'm Miss McGovern.
And we're the music teachers here at HBB. This year is going to be a little bit different for music class. We don't have our classroom. We will be going into the classrooms. And there are certain restrictions about being able to sing inside and stuff like that.
But fear not, we're going to go on so many musical journeys this year.
Like where, Miss McGovern?
Maybe we'll go to the symphony.
Or maybe we'll take a trip to the music of Hawaii.
Or maybe we'll end up at a rock concert.
We're definitely going to be playing some instruments.
Let's learn about composers.
But most importantly, we're going to have lots of fun.
Please reach out if you have any questions.
Thank you very much, boys and girls. Bye.
Bye.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mrs. Crawford. I teach technology at the Berkland School, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of your students this year. I want to say that I'm very impressed with the ability that the kids are showing in navigating this new school year. They are doing a wonderful job, and I'm so proud of them. If you need to get a hold of me, you can email me at ecrawford@middleborough.k12.ma.us.
All right. So that about concludes this evening. I did just want to thank everybody again. I wanted to thank all my teaching staff. This has been a really challenging year, and they've really been trying their best, and they've just done a great job stepping up in trying to meet the challenges that we have in front of us. And lastly, just to thank all of you as parents and supporters. The support's been wonderful. The patience, the persistence. I know this is not easy. And just want to, again, just invite anybody. If you have questions, just reach out. Let us know what's going on. We're going to continue to work to try to form solid partnerships between home and school. I think that's what this is all about. We really need you as supporters more than we ever have before. And it's going to be a bumpy road. It's been a bumpy road the last few months. I think it's going to continue to be. And I just think hopefully we can all remember we're all on the same team. And just again, thank you, and have a good night. And looking forward to the rest of the